day 10 of Accelerate to Awesome. My name is Etrulia Troy Lee, and I'm the CEO and founder of Women Enlightened and Economically Empowered, where we help women to flourish in mind, body, and assets so they can create their best life. And that's what we're here to do with you. We are really praying that you will take this information, really dig down into it, and use it so you can create the life of your dreams. It is day 10, and yesterday we started talking about limiting beliefs. And today we're going to look at some of the top limiting beliefs that people have that cause them not to move forward in life. One of the top limiting beliefs is, I just don't have time. I don't have the time to apply new information to change my life. You have the time. Everybody has the same 24 hours. It's just a matter of what you do with it. Do you find yourself using this as the excuse for why you don't move forward with certain things, that you just believe you just don't have the time? Another limiting belief, and let me scroll through them because I have them here. I can't afford it. I simply can't afford to hire a life coach. I can't afford to hire a health coach. I can't afford to hire a sitter while I go to class. That's a limiting belief because, again, there is money available. There's lots of money available to do the things that you want to do. Could it be that you may need to rearrange how you're spending your resources so you can afford that life coach, that health coach, that sitter, so you can, go back to school or have them in the home helping you clean house so you can afford to have the time to do some of the things that you really need to do to move your life forward. Another limiting belief, I simply can't do it. There are things you can do when you make up your mind that this is what you are going to do. So sometimes you look at something and say, I can't do this. I had this situation when I was working on my dissertation. The dissertation was overwhelming to me. The whole data collection and charts and graphs and all this stuff that I had to do, statistical analysis, I just looked at that and said, I can't do this. And I finished my coursework and I was ABD, all but dissertation, for way too long until I was almost out of time to complete it. But every time I picked it up, I said, I just can't do this. I can't get my mind around it. I don't see how people do this. But guess what? I did. So sometimes we simply say, I can't do it. And usually that means this is going to stretch me. This is going to be a little hard. You can do it. It's a matter of, are you willing to put in time to get done what you need to get done? Okay, another limiting belief could be, I'm just scared. What's the great saying? There's nothing to fear but fear itself. And the topic on overcoming your fears, that's coming up. We have that covered in this series as well. But sometimes you just say, I'm just too scared to try. Now, we all have some limitations regarding where our comfort zone is. I'm not comfortable in water. I love the beach. I love to swim as long as I can stand up and put my feet down. Yes, I've had swimming lessons. I've done all that. But my comfort level is, can I stand up in this water? And as long as I can stand up, I'm fine. My husband loves to scuba dive. And when we go on vacation, and it's usually to the Caribbean, somewhere where it's warm with beautiful blue water, he's going to get in some scuba diving. I'm not. I'm going to get in some spa treatments and some shopping. So that's something I don't want to do. That's a limiting belief, because the truth is, if I really wanted to, I could strap that oxygen tank on and go scuba diving. But right now, I have a limiting belief surrounding scuba diving that I'm going to die underneath that water, that a shark is going to come and eat me up or gobble me up, and I just don't want anything to do with underneath the water. But the truth is, people scuba dive every single day, and they're safe. But that's a limiting belief for me, so I'm just going to fess up. And you may have a limiting belief around something that you may really want to do, and you just need to examine what is the fear around it if you're scared to do it. Okay, you may also have a limiting belief that I don't want to start this because suppose I start it and I change my mind and I don't finish. So what? So some people will say, well, in case I'm not successful with this, that's a fear of failure. Again, we're going to talk about fear too. But you could have a limiting belief that says, I don't want to start it because I may not be successful with it. And if I quit, I don't want to be beaten up on myself about it, or I don't want others beating up on me about it. That's another limiting belief. I don't know how to do this. I didn't know how to play the piano when I first started when I was in my 30s either, but I learned. Okay, so we don't know how to do a lot of things. When I first decided to open my company, I did not know. I knew how to do network marketing. I knew how to recruit a team and encourage a team and have team meetings. I knew a lot of stuff about network marketing. I didn't have a clue as to how to start a network marketing company. But I took 6 months to learn. I went to the conferences. I hired the attorneys. I read all I could. I interviewed just about, I can't tell you how many consultants. I've picked people's brains before I wrote the first big check. I didn't know how to do this, but guess what? Company's open, it's successful, and it's blessing women all across the globe. So some things you don't know how to do, but it's called learning. You can learn how to do them. So just because you don't know how to do it doesn't mean you can't learn how to do it. What's another limiting belief here? I don't deserve it. You could have some feelings of unworthiness that may be lurking. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. But maybe you feel you just don't deserve it. I know I didn't feel that I deserved a great relationship with a spouse because I heard some things growing up that were limiting beliefs, like men only want one thing, or like all men are dogs. I'm not sure some of you've heard that, but I heard stuff like that growing up, and it was definitely in the back of my mind. All men cheat. There's no way in the world you can be in a husband with be in a relationship with a husband who is faithful to you. So those were some limiting beliefs that caused me to act a certain way, expecting this to become true. So you could have some limiting beliefs around your relationships that cause you not to trust. That's not true. It's just a limiting belief. What about I shouldn't have to do all this. It shouldn't be this hard. That's a limiting belief. Most things that you really, really want, they're going to take some effort. So maybe you feel I shouldn't have to go through a program like this in order to make it to the next level. Oh, yeah, you do. You need to get some new information so you can grow. Other limiting beliefs. It's hopeless. It's not going to turn out right anyway. Things never go right for me. That's a limiting belief. Other people get all the breaks. That's a limiting belief. I'm just not lucky. Limiting belief. And when you hear yourself saying things like this, those are limiting beliefs that you need to bag up and replace it with a better belief. Some other limiting beliefs. Let me see. I have a whole list here. I just don't have the energy to do anything else. Really? Again, we all have 24 hours. You can eat better and exercise and achieve more energy. You could turn off the idiot tube, as I like to call it, that television that zaps so many people's time and resources. How big is your cable bill, by the way? Do you have basic cable, or do you have that super duper package that's causing you to have a lot of your time wasted in front of watching other people make money? Because guys, let's face it, if we're watching TV, except for public television, the people are there. The actors are making money, and the advertisers are trying to sell you something so they can make money. So think about it this way. When you engage in TV watching, you're just making somebody else rich. Why not take that same energy and invest it in yourself so you can become rich? And guys, when I use the term rich, I'm not always talking about the money in the bank. I'm talking about living a life that satisfies you. Money is not everything, but I will admit it's right up there with the oxygen we needed to live. But when I say the term rich, it's a life that satisfies you. So whenever you're watching TV, you're really enriching somebody else's pockets normally. Think about that. Okay, other limiting beliefs you might have. Here's a big one. I'm too old, or I'm too young to do what I think I want to do. There's a wonderful young lady that I know who's a branding strategist. She's one of our We coaches. And when she first got started as a branding strategist, she said she was concerned because she thought she was just too young and people wouldn't listen to her. She finally wrote a book titled I Am Enough. Her name is Sade Adu, and I'm giving her some props here. And she said she had that I'm just too young to for anybody to listen to me. And so maybe you have some ideas that you want to move forward on, but you feel you're too young. Or maybe you feel, hey, listen, I'm getting ready to retire in a couple years. I'm just too old to try anything new. As long as you have breath in your body, you are right on time to try anything you want to try. You're never too old, and you're never too young. It's too late, which is just a variation of I'm too old. It's never too late. It is never too late. And I'm gonna close with this quick story. I met a gentleman by the name of Mr. Russell, and I'm trying to think of his full name. I will dig out the book and hold it up tomorrow. And he was a friend of mine's grandfather-in-law. We stopped by to see him in the Shenandoah Valley. And this gentleman was in his mid-80s. And he put me, his granddaughter, and his great-granddaughter on that tractor and drove us around his land, showing us his plans for developing his land. How he had even gone to the bank to get money. William Russell, that is his full name. And the bank didn't give him a loan. But in mid-80s, this guy had dreams and goals that he was still going for. I was so impressed. I was so impressed with this gentleman. So if he still had dreams and goals in the mid-80s, what about you? What about you? So it's never too late, guys, to start fresh. You're not a tree. You can always just pick yourself up from right where you are and start fresh and get going again. So those are just some limiting beliefs. I want you to check and see if you had any of those, or maybe some of your beliefs were a little more personal, like the ones I shared yesterday. But just check out and see if you have any of these limiting beliefs that may be holding you back from creating your life, creating your best life. This is truly a Troy Lee signing off. And as always, life is not a dress rehearsal. You only get one chance. Create your best life now. Blessings and bubbles, and I'll see you tomorrow.